una moderna versión del famoso náufrago de la literatura, el teniente Robin Crusoe.
One day, during a routine mission in the far Pacific.
Request new coordinates for position 6. Fire warning light on.
Ahora es un piloto naval perdido en una isla tropical, el teniente Robin Crusoe.
Mister, let's take stock of the situation. First thing we've got to remember is relax.
It was indeed an island. Oh, Floyd, that's very pretty. Just put it over here.
Quien goza del embrujo de una exótica muchacha llamada Miércoles.
Look, stupid. I just want to get a blanket or something because it's raining. I'm not going in there and stay. Now, come on. Oh.
Juntos forman un ejército de bellas nativas para enfrentar al malo de la isla.
Sailor, smarten up. All right, blatant giggling.
Comedia, romance y divertidas aventuras. El teniente Robin Crusoe.
On the land no longer sail the sea, but they sank a fleet of merchantmen with cutthroat treachery. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. They lit false beacons on the shore, luring ships to grief, then took their plunder from the wrecks abandoned on the reef. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night.
Ship! What have you done?
Big ship! Big ship up on the reef! Big ship on the reef! Got her buzzed up for sure, big ship! She's on the reef! Big ship! She's gone aground! Big ship! Big ship aground! She's busted up for sure!
And here, thank you.
This is real beautiful, Miss Feather. Real genuine silk. I'll swap you the bolt for that barrel of molasses.
Now, Mr. Mose, don't you try to take advantage of me. Silk's nice, but a barrel of molasses is mighty valuable.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the both pesos for that lasses.
All right. It's a bargain.
Put it down. All of you. That's my cargo. Now put it down. Go stick your head in a barrel of sand. You dirty sand pirates! You bring those things back. And you, madam, I'll take...
Poor fella, he don't realize how sick he is.
Are you the mate, sir?
Hi, lad. First mate your ass hawk off the Jubilee. Or so I was. Till them dirty, rotten Mooncussers beached us. And I'd give up all me hopes for the Fiddler's Green if I could get me hands about them devil's throats.
There's one good thing, sir. Mooncussers didn't get away with everything. Some of the stuff got away from them, washed up on shore.
Aye, lad. A great comfort that must be to the captain. Like slipping out of the jaws of a shark to be gobbled up in the land crab. Now, lad, if you'll hoist me up, hey?
Yes, sir. This way, sir. Like some more tea, Captain?
Montauk Light. All right, men. Now listen to me. We'll stay here until morning. Then you'll have to make your way back to New York the best way you can. All right. You'll all be paid off in full at the home office of the Hallett Shipping Line. That's all. What we gonna do?
Old Hallett get one look either of us, wind up on a yard arm.
More than 10 years, though. Maybe you wouldn't recognize us.
He ain't gonna forget us, not in 100 years.
How do we get our pay?
You just cut your jib. Leave me chart the course.
After all, Captain, you're not the first one to lose a ship to the Mooncussers. I imagine they all felt just as bad as you do.
Madam, nobody could feel as badly as I do. Unless they had to face old E.P. Hallett and tell him that they had just lost one of his ships.
Your mate thought it was Montauk. What? Where were you, Captain Weeks? I wasn't feeling well. All right. Go on, Captain. Now, here's where the Mooncussers set up their light. Somewhere's in here. And here's where he turned and hit the reef. They took us over to a little place on the inlet, Feather's Wharf.
That's almost the identical spot where we lost the Angie Olsen last spring.
I can't believe it.
All right. Let's talk to the mate. Get him in here.
That's what I wanted to tell you. He's still down there at Feather's Wharf.
He's still down there.
No, Father.
Well, he didn't feel able to travel. He took quite a beating in the surf. He wanted to know if you would send his pay down there to him.
Work all your life. Try to build up something. This is what comes of it. Who was your mate?
Urias Hawk. Signed him on in Charleston along with this friend of his, Bill Stacy. They're both down there together at Feathers Wharf.
All right, go fill out your report.
Yes, sir.
Captain Weeks.
Captain Talbot.
Dan? I hate to welcome you home with news like this. But you might as well know the whole situation. It's incredible. There's one thing more. The Portland is at sea, bound from the Indies for New London. If she winds up in that graveyard, we'll be wiped out. Finished. Bankrupt.
That's a fine situation. Pirates right on our own coast. Why isn't something done?
It's up to us, Dan.
Us?
I want you to go down there to this Feathers Wharf. Nose around and find out who these pirates are.
Me, Dad, I'm sailing Monday.
You're not sailing. You're riding. And the sooner you get started, the better. And if the Portland passes that point at night, you make sure there's no signal light to pile her up on that reef.
Well, what's the matter with the law? Surely the government can do something to stop them.
Dan, we've begged, we've pleaded. They say it would take the entire militia. And even then, there'd be whole areas that they... We can't wait, Dan. You've got to go down there and protect our interests.
Guess we're not left with much choice.
Captain Hawk it was in them days, me lad. For I had my own ship.
Gee willikers.
And I'll have my own ship again one day. You can mark me word on that. You like to sign on, lad? If I was to need a cabin boy, hey?
Oh, yes, sir. I'd like that more than anything else in the whole world. Of course, Mom might not let me go till I get a little older.
I've been 3 times across and once gone under before I was the size of you.
I guess it's because all the shipwrecks along here and everything, and the Mooncussers. It's got me kind of scared.
How many ships been lost? Rockaway to Montauk, eh?
I don't rightly know, but I heard Mr. Henry say that Mooncussers got off with $1 million worth of cargo in the last 6 months.
Captain? Captain?
Why don't you go, lad? See who he is, what he wants, eh?
Yes, sir.
I'll sure be glad if they ever send our pay so that we can get out of here.
Did you not listen to the lad? The Mooncussers have grabbed up $1 million worth of cargo in the past 6 months. And I'm thinking to myself, why should we run off from an opportunity like that, eh?
You mean an opportunity. I thought that...
Aye? Unless you can think of some quicker way to make a fortune, eh?
Morning, sir.
Morning, young man.
You looking for somebody?
This building with a sign on it. Wouldn't by any chance be Feathers Nest Inn, would it?
Yes, sir. Sure a pretty horse. Want me to rub him down for you?
Kind of a mean one. He bites.
Oh.
You don't suppose they'd have a room in there for me, do you?
You gonna be staying here?
Well, provided the quarters are adequate and food is tolerable. There are other guests, I presume.
There's Bill Stacy and Mr. Hawk. They're both off in the Jubilee that went down. There they are.
Maybe I better talk to them first and see how they like the food.
My ma's the best cook in Long Island.
Mr. Hawk!
Hello, fella. You're not mean, are you? You don't even got a mean bone in your whole body.
My, it's an awful lot of horse there. My, he's a mean-looking critter. Go!
You get around a good, smart horse, and you gotta watch out what you say.
You better watch out for him yourself. I'll have nothing to do with that black devil. Nothing to do with him at all. The idea. I've never bitten a horse in my life.
That's all right, fella.
And here's the money you had coming.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Hallett. Sure needed this.
And your pa, he'll be coming along too?
I'm down here by myself. But I'll give you my word on one thing, Mr. Hawk. You're going to see some of those Mooncussers hanging from a yardarm before another moon rolls around.
Well, he ain't easy finding out who they are.
But I figure they haven't had time to get rid of the cargo from the Jubilee. Now, we find out where they've hidden that. We're going to catch them in their own trap.
Aye, lad. I see your point.
So far as I'm concerned, everybody's under suspicion. Except you two, of course. That's why I don't want anybody to know who I am or what I'm doing here.
You can depend on us. We'll not tell.
I'm going to ask you to stay around for another week or so. You'll still be on the payroll.
What would you be expecting us to do?
We have the Portland coming up the coast. It's going to be up to us to see if the Mooncussers don't get her on the reef.
Whatever you want us to do, just leave us know.
Thanks. I'll see you later and tell you exactly what I want you to do.
We better find out who the Mooncussers are before he does. If we're gonna join them, we got to find them, eh?
He ain't gonna do us no good. I'd say get rid of him.
He ain't no frostbiter. He's E.P. Harrod's son. Bash in his head, they turned this here beach upside down. Both of us be hanging by our thumbs of what they got through. $1 million in 6 months. With that kind of bait floating around, I wonder if they ain't some of our old friends what smelled it ahead of us.
Now that's a sight I never expected to see.
Sure is a good horse.
You know, there's only 3 people in the world Ebony's ever warmed up to. My father, me, now you.
Gosh, is that his name, Ebony?
Yep.
That's a funny name for a horse. Ebony. We call her Sartorius. I'll tell Marty here.
Wait a minute. Unusual organ you have here. Had it long?
Oh, this come off the Angie Olsen when she went down last spring.
This off the Angie Olsen, too?
No, that come off the Briscoe when she went down 3 years ago Christmas.
Must have been quite a Christmas.
Never was a Christmas like that. 2 whole crates of oranges. Ma just let me help myself. Didn't even have to ask. And there was coffee and corned beef and all sorts of materials for making shirts and dresses. Of course, not silk, though.
Nothing like a good shipwreck to spread prosperity. Must be a lot of other things you have around.
Oh, I guess me and Ma and Betsy is just about as good as anybody when it comes to hooking stuff out of the water.
I'll bet nobody on the beach has any more nice things than you have. Probably you're the first ones there, huh? When a ship goes aground?
Oh, take like the Hawaiian lady. When she went down, wasn't nobody there ahead of us. Pa was the first one that seen her. He come running up the beach, a-hollering and a-screaming.
Carrying a big light, was he?
Well, I don't know about that. It was a long time ago. I guess I really don't remember. I just hear Ma talk about it.
Young man, if you have questions to ask, I think you might bypass children and talk to grown-ups.
Well, actually,
As for the night the Hawaiian lady went down, I happen to remember that night very well.
All right, I'll give you a question. Did the captain say anything about the Mooncussers luring him off course?
The captain went down with his ship.
I don't suppose that spoils the fun, though, does it? A few bodies floating around while you're grabbing up everything you can get your hands on and dragging it home.
Get out! Get out!
What was on the Hawaiian lady? Why are you all so touchy about it? Something you gotta keep hidden?
Get out!
There's somebody down in the cellar. Did you tell Ma? She's getting something on. Hurry. sure have been down here all right.
Just put up your hands and come out wherever you are. I've got a gun and I know how to use it.
Betsy, stay there. Where are you? Wait for me. There he goes! Stop! I got him! I got him! I got him! I got him! Jonathan! Help me.
Well.
Gee willikers, what's he doing down here? My goodness. He's bleeding. I still don't see what he was doing down here. Well, anyhow, you didn't have to throw so hard.
Look, I'm no burglar. Can ask Mr. Hawk and Mr. Stacy. They'll vouch for me.
Then what was you doing in our cellar?
I might as well tell you, I guess. I'm Dan Hallett of Hallett Shipping Lines. We've lost two of our ships here, not more than a few months apart. First it was the Angie Olsen, and now the Jubilee.
Go on.
Well, I'm down here to dig out the men responsible for it and see that it doesn't happen again.
And you expected to find these men down in our cellar?
Well, no. I was looking for salvage cargo.
Figured something like that. Questions you were asking Jonathan this morning? Might as well give him back his gun.
Don't you think I had a right to be a little suspicious?
Suspicious?
All these things, some off our own ships, just conveniently washed in by the tide.
The sea is likened unto the Lord, Mr. Hallett. It giveth, and it taketh away. Better stir up the fire, Jonathan. I'll put the coffee pot on.
Sorry I hit you so hard.
Don't leave it there. It feels good. It giveth and it taketh away. The trouble is, it giveth to the Mooncussers and those who grab up the salvage, and it taketh away from those who own the ships.
That's not always true, Mr. Hallett. My father gave up his life trying to get a line out to the Hawaiian lady to help her passengers to shore.
I know it doesn't mean much to tell you that I'm sorry.
That's all right. You didn't know.
We've a lot of rooms here. I think you just better spend the night.
That's what I came for earlier, to see about a place to stay. Till somebody ordered me off the premises.
Jonathan will bring you some coffee. In your room.
Would be a blessing when I gets me next ship to have a cabin boy as quick and as smart as you appears to be.
And I'm a pretty good worker, too, sir.
Yeah, and with a quick eye, I'll wager. Not a lad to forget things right off, eh?
No, sir, not at all.
I'll give you a little test. Do you recall ever seeing in these parts a man with his left ear gone and the scar clean across his left cheek, eh?
No, sir. And I'm sure I wouldn't forget that.
How's about a man with a crippled hand and he sorta drags 1 foot when he walks, eh?
No, sir, there's no one around here like that. Not that I've ever seen.
Do you recall a big fat man with a tattoo of a serpent's head on his hand?
Oh, you mean Mr. Wick, that rents a fishery.
Now, let's see how observant you are. Did you ever notice anything peculiar about his mouth?
Oh, you mean all the silver teeth?
Aye, you're a good, smart lad with a good eye and a good brain in your head.
I know quite a bit about ships, too.
Do you think you could take a message to this here Mr. Wick? Tell him there's an old friend who'd like very much to see him.
Yes, sir.
You might just show him this. Case he don't recollect the name.
Gee willikers.
Take care you don't lose it, eh?
Yes, sir. I'll finish with you when I get back. Just be patient.
Sure sounds like old Pinch got her.
Yeah, with maybe some of our other friends off in the Julia, eh?
You know what I'm here for? To stop the Mooncussers and put an end to all that thieving piracy.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be out most every night riding the beach, watching for a signal light. I'll have to catch a little sleep each day. So I want to ask you something, Jonathan.
Sure, go ahead.
How would you like to work for me?
Doing what?
Well, if you should happen to see anything suspicious, just let me know. And most of all, I'd like to know if the Portland passes safely in daylight.
Well, sure. If I happen to see anything, I'll let you know.
And I figure as long as you're going to be my partner, there may be times when you're going to want a good fast horse. You better practice riding Ebony.
You mean it? Really? Let me ride him down the fishery. I have to run an errand. Please?
Sure, go ahead.
Gee willikers! Thanks! Oh, well, I better get started.
I'll help you.
Come on, Ebony. Dan's gonna let me ride you. Come on, boy.
You two men, get out and unload that wagon. Now, go on, boy. I don't know any riot hawk. You tell him I have other things to do.
He told me to show you this.
I remember it now. Now, you tell him I'll come.
And I was saying to Stacy just yesterday, them was the good old days. My own ship, and there's hardly a crew of cutthroats as ever scrambled for gold. Do seem like you'd be a mite more happy about meeting your old shipmates after all these years, eh?
Well, I am. I'm happy.
I gives you credit. And I've said it before. You always was more smart than you was likable.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the things you need to operate this Mooncussers, eh? Small boats, so you can get out to a sinking ship and rip off the cargo before she goes under. You need a warehouse to store goods in till you got a buyer. You need some excuse to be a shipping staff out, eh?
You're just imagining things.
Who's going to be asking questions if you ships out barrels and cakes from a fishery? Eh? You got the boats? You got the warehouse?
Well, I'm an honest man now. What is it you want?
It ain't a question of what we want, Mr. Wick. We are old friends. We come along to help you.
I can imagine.
It ain't like we was joining up without nothing to contribute. Any kind of luck at all, we can pick off the Portland. Full cargo from the Indies.
We got inside information.
Isn't going to be like it was before, though. I want that understood. I'm in charge now. I'm giving the orders.
Aye, we agrees to that, right? You gives the orders. But I tell you what orders to give, eh?
Howdy.
You ain't seen the Portland go by yet, have you?
No, I got better things to do than to watch for ships. Say, don't that young Hallett ever ride that black devil no more?
He had to go into Sag Harbor today. Took the stage.
It seems every time I look up in the last few days, I see you gallivanting down to the beach on that horse.
Mr. Mose?
Yeah?
You ain't got any idea who any of the Mooncussers are, do ya?
See here, young man. I don't know nothing, and I don't want to know nothing.
How do you figure they set up their light? Make it blink.
Now, you listen, Jonathan Feather. It ain't healthy for you to go around asking questions like that. Now, you forget about it. You hear me?
Well, what could it hurt, just asking you?
Do you recollect that young Dave Kelp? Well, he was around here asking questions. And I told him the same as I'm telling you. But he wouldn't listen. 2 days later, they found his body floating in the surf.
Well, I guess I better be getting on.
Mark what I told you.
Evening, Dan.
Find out anything inside?
Whaling ships in and out. Men in town today, gone tomorrow. There's no way to check on all of them.
Send Stacy down to Chinnacook. Just see if he could learn anything.
You're late. I kept your supper warm in the back of the stove.
I didn't see Ebony. Isn't Jonathan back yet?
Oh, Jonathan's been here a couple times, but he left again when he found you weren't here.
I suppose he didn't see any sign of the Portland today.
I'm sure he would have said something.
If she isn't here by now, I don't know. Surely can't be much longer.
Soup's getting cold.
Gee, many willikers. Mooncussers. Come on, boy.
Dan, quick, Mooncussers! Dan, quick! Mooncussers! Down on King's Cove. I'll be right back.
Mr. grab a horse. Mose, Henry, you men, come on.
Wait for me! I gotta get Sartorius!
Gentlemen, stay here. Liable to be bullets flying.
Mose, I'll meet you down the beach just in case there's a ship aground.
Mr. Mose, you gotta help them. There's only 2 of them against all those Mooncussers.
Now, if they want to go and have themselves shot full of holes, that's up to them, not me.
I'll go ahead. You come as fast as you can.
Come on, Sartorius, you can go faster than that.
But I tells you, give the crew time to get off before you scrambles aboard, unless it then takes too long. Hey? Even when I tries to teach you, you ain't smart enough to learn. Might seem a bit odd, huh? We leaves together, but I comes back hale and hearty when they find his body in the sun. Get going now before he comes to and sees you.
I don't understand what you have in mind.
Ain't nobody going to ask me questions. Even when he comes to, the lad finds me tied up alongside him.
I don't like it. Every time we try to get too smart,
If there's any little thing goes wrong, we can take care of him good as you.
Man on cheese boat! All right.
Come on, Sartorius, you can go faster than that. Come on, boy.
Ahoy the deck! Right off her port bow! There she is! On taut light! Ease her up to port!
She's coming about. Heading toward the reef as pretty as you please.
Shh! Now don't you make no noise now. Remember.
I blames myself for not riding off. As soon as I seen they had taken you, could have maybe got some help.
I'm sorry I ever got you into this mess.
Probably figures to give us the deep six before the night's over. But that input worries me. It's them poor folks out there and that their ship.
There could be women and children aboard.
Aye, and they keeps thinking to myself, if I was still loose, there's maybe something I could do to douse the fire before she goes aground.
You did your best. Nobody can do more than that.
Matey. I don't care so much what you does to me, but if you was to let young Hallett go, I'm sure his pa would make it up to you.
You shut up or I'll bash your brains in.
Steady as she goes.
Keep working the light. Run, get out of here. Look out! Get out of here, boy. You know, get out of here. Oh! 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 No, boy, no! Hey, boy, quit picking on me now! Quit picking up! Steady as she goes. Go! Go! Oh! Oh!
I'll talk. You heard Captain Hawk.
Mr. Hawk, why'd you shoot him?
They're the Mooncussing devils. Wish I could do that to the lot of them.
Ahoy the deck! Look! Hard to starboard!
want some more, Mr. Moles?
Sure, pour, son.
Your move, Mr. Henry.
Sure was brave of you, Mr. Hawk. Not to ride off when you'd seen that the Mooncussers had jumped down.
Well, I can tell you truthful, lad. It seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
I suppose now that the Portland's safe, you'll be leaving us.
The only thing is, I got a letter from my father. He's on his way down here. Should arrive tomorrow. Guess I better wait till he gets here. Now, don't you mention to Mr. Hawk. I want it to be a surprise. I'm sure my father will want to give him some kind of reward.
No matter what your pa does for him, Mr. Hawk sure deserves it. Steady, Aberdeen. Steady, boy.
Come over here, boy. Well, how are you, Ebony, old boy? Hey, what are you doing? That's no horse for a boy to be riding.
Gee, Willikers, you must be Dan's pa, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He told me there was just 3 people in the whole world Ebony liked. Him, his pa, and me.
Dan knows you're riding him?
Sure, me and Dan's partners. Did you hear about the Portland?
She's already come up the coast?
Yep, Mooncussers almost got her, too. Except for me and Dan and Mr. Hawk.
She's all right then, huh?
Probably clean into New London by now. Come by here last night.
And you helped, you say, boy, huh? Well, you'll have to tell me all about that. Hey, what's your name, son?
Jonathan Feather.
Feather, huh? Must be who Feather's horse named for, right?
Not me, sir. My pa.
No. All right, you lead the way, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Betsy?
Hello, Dan.
Dan?
Mr. Hawk?
Mr. Hallett?
Stacy?
Morning.
Miss Betsy?
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Morning, Mr. Moles. Dan back yet?
I guess so, and go inside.
This here's Dan's pa.
How do you do, sir?
How are you?
Oh, D.B. Hallett.
Thank you. Hey, Dan, your pa's here.
Jonathan? Sounds like you got a weasel in your hen house. Gotta go take a look.
We ain't never had no weasels around here. Not that I've ever seen.
Dad, got good news.
I heard all about it. Young Jonathan there told me. Son?
I checked with the sheriff. They got a real good chance now of finding out who the Mooncussers are, following up the 3 men who got killed last night.
Dan? I won't be satisfied till I see every last one of them hanging from a yard arm. What have you found out so far?
Well, one of them's off a whaler. The other 2 are itinerant workers at the fishery.
Now, first thing to do, I want to say my thanks to Mr. Hawk for helping to save the Portland. He's still around, isn't he?
Well, he and Stacy went out just a minute ago. They probably went down to the beach.
Well, I'll go find him if you want.
You do that, will you, lad?
Mr. Hawk! Mr. Stacy! Coming here to see ya! Mr. Hawk! Mr. Stacy!
There's one thing sure, the way these Mooncussers operate, the way they handle their small boats and board a ship that's breaking up. They gotta be real seamen.
That sounds reasonable.
So as soon as I get back to New York, I'm gonna dig through the records and see what I can find out on some of them.
Well, I better do that for you because you're not going right back to New York.
What?
You see, a group of us got together and we've come up with a scheme that's going to put those Mooncussers right out of business. That's what I want to talk to you about.
I called you together because we got trouble.
Real trouble. Old E.P. Hallett arrived today.
That could be embarrassing to quite a few of our group.
What about old man Hallett? I don't know what you're getting at.
Old E.P. Hallett, but
A few years back, some of us tries to take one of old Hallett's ships. He catched us at it and drove us off. And he ain't one to forget. There's going to be more snooping around, more questions asked.
And I say let's quit while we're ahead. Pack up and get out of here.
That's right.
If old Pinchgut here ever could afford as good as he can run, he would have been bigger than Captain Kidd, eh?
I don't know, though. There ain't no sense to wait around here till they come and catch us.
Somebody's coming! Somebody's coming! Someone's coming!
Probably the sheriff. Anybody with him?
There's 2 men on horses.
All of you, get out of sight.
Best we aren't found here.
Now you go back out there, and you act natural, and if he wants you, bring him in here. Rest of you, stay hidden. Watch out in case there's trouble. Get down! Well, Mr. Hallett.
E.P. Hallett. Sheriff must have brought the old barnacle here for some reason.
It's your first time here.
That's right, Mr. Wick.
Can I show you around?
Thank you.
Mr. Hawk, Mr. Stacy, what are you doing here? We've been looking all over for you most of the day.
See you at the inn, laddie, eh?
Wait a minute. Hey, Dan, guess who's here? Hey, Dan, come see. Look who's here.
Well, Mr. Hawk.
You must have got the same idea I did, eh? Trying to find out something. Where them 2 Mooncussers worked, eh?
My father was here. He wanted to see you. Thank you for your part in saving the Portland.
Was here? Has he left?
He's got a lot of things to do.
Would have liked to meet you, Pa, but of course I'm not the one what needs to be thanked for doing me simple Christian duty.
Come on in. I've been talking to people up and down the beach, trying to get their cooperation in a program set up by the ship owners and underwriters.
Well, what kind of a program?
They're going to set up a string of life-saving stations not more than 10 miles apart all along the shore.
Oh, like they got in Blighty, eh?
Well, there's a little more to it than that, Mr. Hawk.
Just leave it alone, boy. You might hurt yourself.
There'll be lights atop these stations so that no ship's captain or crew can ever again mistake the shore for the entrance to the sound. Now, in case a ship does head in, there'll be flares that could be sent up to warn her off. Now, once these stations are built, there'll be no way for the Mooncussers ever to wreck another ship.
Aye, aye. Make the sea safe, honest, seafaring man. Well, any proper man would be pleased to help with that, eh?
Can we count on your help, Mr. Wick?
Money, manpower, anything you need, you just come to me and...
Fine. Come on, Jonathan.
Meet me late at the cove.
No, we waited long enough. You men take whatever cash you've got and scatter. I'm going to try to sell the fishery. Have to be careful. Too many people asking questions.
Hey, Wick! It's Hawk and Stacy.
Anything I ever said against old E.P. Hallett, I takes it all back. He leaves orders for Dan to stay and see that the station is built proper. And when she's done, I'm the one what's to be left in charge. while old EP pays me salary out in his own pocket. It's me reward for helping to save the Portland.
You end up with a job, but what about us? Don't you realize what it means building that station?
Aye, and don't you realize what it means with me left in charge? We can get us one more ship before we scatter to the four winds.
One more ship?
Aye! And with me getting daily reports, we can pick and choose. Make sure we get the richest prize of all.
Thank you, my dear. And with the violence of the elements, combined with the treachery of men who deliberately wreck our ships, we've lost as many as 1,500 men in a single year along our seacoast. But that era is ending now, thanks to the establishment of stations such as this and contributions of people like you. There's one thing more you need, and that's a messenger and an official helper for the new station. So I'll tell you what they did in Fire Island. They held a drawing. Now, all boys interested, put their names on a slip of paper.
Excuse me, Mrs. Feather.
I don't need no help except you.
Come on, boys, don't crowd in. I'll get you a piece of paper. Come on, hurry up.
Could I have a piece of paper, please, Mr. Wick? Thank you. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Hawk.
Just a minute, Commissioner. Can I speak to you?
Of course.
I hadn't mentioned this even to Hawk, but I want to put Jonathan Feather on as a messenger and official helper.
Dan, you can't do that. Just make up your own mind.
He's a good boy. I know he can be trusted. And besides, I'm not quite satisfied
But all
with...
these people, they helped to put up the station. You can't just shut them out of it. No, Dan, I'm sorry.
Well, one thing I sure don't need. Some young swab underfoot, ready to plug a gas every time he hears something.
Maybe I can handle the drawing. Draw Willie's name.
Are there any other boys who don't have a piece of paper? All right, boys, come on, hurry up. Write your names so we can put them in Mr. Henry's hat. And we can have a drawing.
Wait! Folks, what we need is a messenger who can cover the most ground in the least possible time, right? Could be a matter of life or death. So why wouldn't it be better and a lot more fun to have a race?
All right, we'll work it out. Let's have some men over here lay out a course and serve as judges.
Go get your horses, boys. Commissioner, I'd like to volunteer my services.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wick.
Me too. Jonathan, where's Mr. Hawk?
The last time I saw him, he was with Mr. Wick.
I'm beginning to wonder. Jonathan, you gotta get in there and win that race.
On Sertorius?
No, on Ebony.
Yippee!
Only one will give me any trouble. Jonathan Feathers, if he rides that black.
Hey, fellas! You might as well go home. Me and Ebony will be there and back before you even get started.
One thing I tell you, you win that race.
Jonathan, you gotta win that race. It's important. I'm depending on you.
You don't have to worry none.
I'll make you an offer. Something I've been thinking about anyhow. You win that race, and Ebony's all yours to keep.
You mean it? For really? Gee willikers.
Come on, boy.
All right, now, boys, here's what you do. Right from here, down along the beach to Beckett Point. Then cut inland till you come to the fork in the road that leads to Feather's Nest. Know the one I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, take that fork and head for the inn. Mr. Wick will be there. Give each of you a silver dollar. Soon as you get it, ride back here.
Mister, do we take the same way back?
Son, you just come back the fastest way you know how. Soon as you reach me, dismount, run to the bell, and ring it. First boy to ring the bell, I'll collect the dollars from the others. Be allowed to keep them.
You better not win or I'll bash your head in.
How you gonna do that if you can't catch me?
All right now, boys, let's have a good race. Are you ready? Let's go!
You dropped it.
No, he didn't. You did. You dropped the dollar on purpose. I saw you.
Now, Miss Betsy.
Betsy, please help me find the dollar I needed to win the race. Betsy, it fell right in here someplace.
Here you are. Now go on, Willie. Win that race.
Oh, Betsy, we gotta find it. I'm trying, Jonathan. Oh, Betsy, they're both ahead of me now.
To show that there's no hard feelings, Miss Betsy, I'll help you find it.
Here it is, Jonathan. Give me a boost, Betsy.
There you go, Jonathan.
I need the other ring.
Here it is. Come on, Jonathan.
Yeah! You mean old...
collect your silver dollars from the other two riders, because we're going to send you on your first official trip.
Come on, Willie. Here, Mom.
All right, Jonathan. Each day, you're to ride into Fordham's Tavern, pick up a sealed envelope left there by the stage from New York. That's the latest shipping reports, ships and cargoes. Now, I don't need to tell you what might happen if it fell into the wrong hands. Mooncussers, for example. So you guard it carefully, bring it here to the station, give it to Mr. Hawk. Nobody else, understand?
Yes, sir. Hey, Dan! Is Ebony really all mine now?
It's all yours, Jonathan.
Oh.
Up.
Well, I guess I better get going. Bye.
Bye.
Dan, pleasure to see you again.
Me too, Commissioner. Thank you.
Come on, boy.
Ships expected to pass tonight.
There's our chance. I could round up the men, get them down to the cove. Clouds are moving in real good. We could...
Aye. Good dark night. Might have a chance to catch some Mooncussers, eh?
Wow. I guess I better be going now. I told him.
Oh, no, you don't. He knows.
And if he don't, you're gonna make sure of it.
You're not a Mooncusser. Are you, Mr. Hawk?
It wasn't my idea, laddie, to have you mixed up in this. Be a lot better for everybody if you hadn't won that blinking race, eh? Here. We're making this for you. Here, take it, laddie. Time up. You tell the others. We moves tonight.
Well, messenger or no messenger, I'm not going to have him miss his meals.
Probably the stagecoach was late.
Maybe.
Wait a minute, please. I want to get to the bottom of this. Are you sure Mr. Wick dropped the dollar on purpose? It wasn't Jonathan?
It don't matter. Jonathan won anyhow.
Mrs. Feather, it does matter. There's something here, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Betsy?
All right. There's no question. Mr. Wick did everything he possibly could to keep Jonathan from winning.
You said Mr. Wick arrived about 3 years ago and took over the fishery. Is that about the time of the first Mooncusser activity?
I don't know. I didn't pay much attention. Ain't none of my business. Nor yours either, Betsy.
Why don't you tell him? You know as well as anybody. Mr. Wick arrived here and the mooncussing activity started. All about the same time. Everybody knows it, and everybody's afraid to talk.
So much for Mr. Wick. Now there's a few things I'd like Mr. Hawk to explain.
Bring the boy out. You wait there now at the fishery till we get there.
Wait till we seize the ship, and we flashes you the signal. When you sees the ship hit the reef, you'll head for the cove as fast as you can come, eh?
I've got to see Dan. It's important.
Dan rode down to the life-saving station, Mr. Hallett.
Oh, of all times not to be here. You're Mr. Wick, the man who runs the fishery. He's a fugitive, convicted of piracy. Dan wanted me to check on that.
Mr. Henry, Maltz, quick, round up everybody you can get. Dad, glad you're here.
I want to finish my soup. What in tarnation's the matter?
It's Jonathan, isn't it?
The Mooncussers got him. Hurry! Well, he'll be all right. We'll get him back. It's not quite as bad as it sounds.
Oh, you're hurt.
Why, Mr. Hallett, what a nice surprise. What's the matter?
Everything is all right, Mrs. Feather. There's nothing to worry about.
Something's happened to Jonathan. Now, Mother.
What is it? Tell me.
He's gonna be all right. I promise you.
Never figured we'd have to move so fast. Would rather come at it more cautious-like. But there's one thing I've learned in my years, to smell trouble brewing.
Dan Hallett knew what he was doing, rigging that race this afternoon to make sure putting young Feather here in his messenger, to keep an eye on things.
Catherine Kay, small two-sticker. But she's carrying an uncommon amount of gold. Lesson she's dragging lead, she ought to be here for daylight.
We can divide fast and scatter fast, because we'll never have another chance after tonight.
What about him?
Well, we shouldn't try to be too smart this time. Just throw him in the drink.
When I leaves, I takes the lad with me. Slip him aboard a whaler that's moving out to sea.
If he talks, we all hang.
He'll be to sea for 6 months. Time he gets back, devil himself shouldn't find none of us.
Well, he ruined it for us the last time. Upset the fire barrel and put out the light. I don't think we should give him another chance like that. I still got bruises where he butts me like a billy goat.
Now, let's get down to the cove. Get ready. You knows what you have to do. Right down around the point, leave us know when you see her.
Wait a minute. Some of the men were talking last night. They seem to think things went better when I was giving the orders. Too many things have gone wrong since you moved in and took over.
If you'd ask me, I'd say there ain't nothing going right. Not so far.
Whose side are you on?
I'm with you.
I'm with you. I happens to like the boy, and I plans to take care of him proper. And more than that, I've lived my whole life and never give in to a pack of bilge rats like you, and I ain't starting now.
You can't do much, only one shot.
I can put a ball between your eyebrows, eh? What that does after that, you'll never live to find out.
Well, it's your neck too, Hawk.
Mr. Hawk, to the likes of you.
Yeah. But if he should talk, you might hang with the rest of us.
Well, what do you want to do? Talk here all night or get the gold?
Go.
Well, that's better. We leaves the boy here tied up. Then after we splits up the gold...
Riders coming down the beach. Must become 100 of them riding like crazy. Close that door. Put boxes in front of it. Barricade the windows. Get to your guns before the action.
If you wants to keep alive, lad, keep out of sight. Dames come in to be trusted.
You two upstairs, sneak around back.
Yeah. All right, now get that in there.
you, lad.
Dan, I'm sorry I couldn't make it for the dedication.
At least you got here for the fun.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
What's gonna happen to Mr. Hawk?
He's a pirate. They'll hang him.
No, he'll be given a fair trial. I have a feeling somehow he's going to get himself appointed foreman of the jury.
Goodbye, Dan.
Have a nice trip,
Thank
Dad.
you. See you back at the office. Bye, Betsy.
Goodbye, Mr.
Jonathan?
Hawk. Nice to have had
Bye,
you.
Mr. Hat.
Thank you for all your help.
Come back and visit us.
Thank you. Goodbye.
What you staying around here for? Figure there's some more Mooncussers around?
Jonathan, the moon wasn't made just for cussing.
As soon as we get back, I want you to come over to the station with me. Show me how you climbed up the outside.
How about a race back to the barn?
All right.
On your mark, get set, go.
They sure are mixed up. That ain't no shortcut. Come on, Ebony. Yeah.
On the land no longer sail the sea, but they sank a fleet of merchantmen with cutthroat treachery. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. They lit false beacons on the shore, luring ships to greed, then took their plunder from the wrecks abandoned on the reef.